What is up, guys? So it has officially been 1 month. It seems pretty long, but it's not that long. Okay, today is going to be another long video. Well, kind of long, but not that long. So let's get right into it. So here is where I'm at. So I didn't quite finish the advanced CSS course, but I outsourced it to YouTube material, like the Flexbox and the CSS Grid portion. And the reason I did this is because the course is kind of slower paced, so it's leading up to like this huge project, and I'd rather just work on my own projects, so that's why I just outsourced it. But I do plan on going back to it and working on the project that he actually has on his course. The next thing is that I started the JavaScript portion of Angela's course, which is the first course that I started with. I finished 2 sections of the JavaScript portion, worked on a couple test coding problems, whatever you want to call them, and I will show that later on in the video. The third thing I did was basically, because in the last video I was working on my Space VR website, so I converted the old CSS code to Sass, and I'm slowly implementing the media queries. The last thing is that I started another course called Front End Mastery JavaScript. It's basically like an introduction to JavaScript, and I will show it, and I will show some of the some other material that I was using to learn JavaScript, basically. So yeah, and I'm also pairing it with 2 books that's in their library. Okay. So now here are my takeaways from the past month. Basically my advice, what I gathered, stuff like that. Okay, so the first piece of advice is to just start, like now, right now. A lot of people think that they need to be in the right circumstances, take the right courses, the right boot camps, the right classes. However, you just need to start, like today. You're watching this video now, so it's clear that you have some free time. And whether it be starting with the basics, like learning the types of languages there are and what they can do, or actually picking a language to start/build something. But the point is to actually start, since you can build off of that prior knowledge every single day. And believe me, when you look back at the progress you made as time progresses, you'll be glad you took the initiative to just start. Like me, I was going through this phase where I was waiting to start, but I didn't know where to start. And now I'm 1 month in. I know a lot more about HTML, a lot more about CSS, Sass, all these different languages. And if I didn't start, I literally would not be here where I'm at right now. Okay, the next piece of advice is to code every single day. This is basically building off of my last point, because it starts with just starting, and you will fail. You will feel down, unmotivated at times, and you will put a lot of time into learning. But in order to do this, you must just code. You must learn every single day. And this may seem trivial at first, like when you're beginning, and it's pretty easy. It's like when you begin, it's pretty easy to forget things. So whether it be coding 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or 3 hours a day, whatever you can fit into your schedule, you want to make sure you remember the fundamental concepts of what you're learning. And it doesn't even have to be, building something, but it could be debugging something. It could be reverse engineering something. You can go on a website and look at the code and see what they're doing on the website. You can go to the hundreds of quizzes that are out there. You can go on these hackathon websites where you build websites. There's so many resources, that you can utilize. And the only way you can do this is by actually putting what you're learning into practice. And a key piece of advice is that I will advise people starting out to pick something that you're passionate about. Like me, I like virtual reality and I like space. I like exoplanets. So that's what one of my main projects is about making a website, about basically mixing those concepts together to get something that I actually like. So yeah. So here are some other pieces of advice I have. And it's to network with people early on. And not just for personal branding, but to keep you motivated and on track. You want not only mentors, but people that are going through the same thing as you. Like people that are in web development or software engineering development. Because when you get stuck and you have questions, you want to be able to reach out to these people when you need help. And my last piece of advice is to develop a problem-solving mindset early on. As you can see in this illustration, it's all about critical and creative thinking. Because as a coder, you will face challenges on a daily basis. So you want to develop the ability to tap into your mind, to find logical and creative ways to come up with solutions. Otherwise, you will give up when things get challenging. You will give up when you get stuck. And this goes back to my last point of networking with people. And networking with people is a good solution. But what happens in those situations where you don't have somebody, where you look up something on Google and there is no solution for it? So you will be forced to tap into your brain to find these solutions. Okay, so here are my next plans over the next 3.5 weeks, basically until I start new camp, which is on April 26th. So basically, I plan to go back to the advanced CSS course, to finish Angela's JavaScript portion. And I believe I'm like, Angela, I believe she speaks on some frameworks of JavaScript. But I plan to just at least finish the vanilla JavaScript portion. I plan to finish the front-end masteries course with the JavaScript, which I will show later on in the video. And the books, which I will also show, work on some more projects and fix up the projects that I'm working on, like converting everything to Sass, read some books, etc., stuff like that. So yeah, that's it. But now I'm going to actually show some of the stuff I've been working on. Alright, here we are back again. So this is the course I was talking about. It's pretty short. It's only 2.5 hours, as you can see. But it's on front-end masters or front-end mastery. Basically just getting into the very basics of vanilla JavaScript. It doesn't touch on algorithms or data structures, but they do have another course. If I go up here and right here, this is the other course I'm actually planning on taking after it. This one is longer. It's 4 hours. But yeah, it's for vanilla JavaScript. As you can see, they speak on data structures and algorithms, which I like. And they have a couple books to pair with the courses, especially for complete beginners. So here's one of them. It's right here, getting into JavaScript. So yeah, it's about 100 pages long. Not that bad, and you can actually get it for free. And they have two more books. One of them is getting started with JavaScript. Well, you don't know JavaScript yet. Getting started. This is the second edition, as you can see. You can read it online. And here's the next one. You don't know JavaScript yet. Scope and closures. Second edition. So yeah, you can pair this with both of these two courses. Pair all three of these. And another thing I was working on, as I was working on the JavaScript portion of Angela's course, is this right here. This is actually a pretty good beginner intro level course. I mean, well, not course, but video tutorial, whatever you want to call it. I watched this and I was working on some of the problems he was putting in the video, and it's pretty good. So yeah, it's pretty good. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, this is another course by Friend and Masters about learning the in and outs of Visual Studio Code. Yeah, because I mean, I'm pretty familiar with Visual Studio Code, of course, but there may be things that I may be missing out on. Like maybe I could do something in a more productive way, or maybe there are certain features that I'm not utilizing for my code. And as you can see up here on my browser, here are actually some of the tools I use. Like I use Pesticide, and this helps a lot with debugging. As you can see, it pops up on the screen. It helps a lot with debugging HTML and CSS and Sass. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But okay, this is what else I wanted to show you guys. I forgot all about this. So Angela has a lot of like test problems she wants you to work on. So here are some of them. As you can see, I labeled them Angela BMI problem, BMI events. As you can see here, you run a code, click here, and it runs down here. So yeah, this is a lot of the stuff I've been working on. It's pretty fun, pretty cool little problems. It gets you thinking, which is what I like. She doesn't overwhelm you with problems. So yeah, like I said, I finished 2 portions. I think I finished the beginner. Wait, let me actually check right now. Let me check. Udemy. Let's see. Udemy. Am I learning? Let's see. So yeah, I finished the introduction to JavaScript ES6, and I finished the intermediate JavaScript. So right now I'm at the beginning of the next section, which is the document object model. And in the other course, the YouTube video that I just showed you, the JavaScript, I think I remember the guy touching on it lightly, but not going in depth on it, because it's only a 2-hour video, so you can't really get too much in depth on it. But yeah, this is what I've been doing. And in a later video, I believe the next video, I'm gonna actually show some of the projects, like with the Sass, the media queries, etc., etc., and show you my code, like what it looks like in the back end. I'm trying to implement more clean code to make it more organized so it's easier to read and just easier to understand. So yeah, that'll be it for this video. I don't think I have anything else to touch on. But yeah, thank you for watching. Like I said, like I always say in videos, you have any questions, any comments, any suggestions, anything, just leave them down below. And I will actually start speaking on New Camp in about a week, 2 weeks, once I get near it. So yeah, thank you for watching. Peace out.